very good Friday morning to you, and thank you for being with us here on Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. So the 8-day trial for actress Gwyneth Paltrow in that 2016 ski crash collision came to a dramatic conclusion on Thursday as the jury of 8 people unanimously found in favor of the Oscar-winning actress, instead of finding for the man who brought the suit, Dr. Terry Sanderson.
Was Gwyneth Paltrow at fault? No. Was Terry Sanderson at fault? Yes. Did Terry Sanderson's fault cause Gwyneth Paltrow's harm? Yes. Comparative fault. What percent of the fault do you assign to Terry Sanderson? 100%.
And the panel took over 2 hours to deliberate before deciding that the accident was 100% Sanderson's fault and that it caused harm to Gwyneth Paltrow. A seemingly dejected Sanderson was hunched down in his chair as he learned the jury's decision, and he later received a pat on the back from his lawyer as they absorbed the verdict. And the final moment between Sanderson and Paltrow came as the actress was leaving the courtroom. Look at this as she places her hand on his back and briefly says something to him before exiting. Let me bring in my guests, see what they think. Standing by in Denver, Colorado, trial attorney Kelly Hyman, and in Nashville, Tennessee, retired police sergeant Melissa Pinkleton. Good morning to you, ladies. Thanks for being on the show. Let's just get your reactions, and then we'll dig in a little deeper. Kelly, to you first, please. What did you think of the verdict?
I firmly believe in the jury system, and based on the evidence, and the credibility was key. I think the jury looked at the evidence presented and how Gwyneth Paltrow presented herself and how the other person presented himself as well, and ultimately made a determination that she wasn't at fault. And so I believe they got it right.
I made an early call on this one, you know, we never know what a jury's going to do, but in this case, my call was correct. Sergeant Pinkleton, you were following along with us on this one early on, had some thoughts. What did you think when it came to verdict time?
Well, much like you, Julie, I had the same exact thought. When before the trial even started and I heard that he was suing her for $300 million and she was suing back for $1, I sat there and I thought and looked up, she's worth $250 million. If she truly, truly did this, she probably would have settled out. A lot of people do. Even when people who are that famous and have that kind of money, they'll settle out anyway, even if they didn't do it. But I feel like she just was not going to compromise her integrity, not going to admit to something that she did not do, felt so strongly about it, and said, no, you're not even getting $300,000. And went to court, and she proved that she was not guilty, and the jury got it right. And I think it was very classy what she did, though, when she said goodbye and she said, I wish you well. But she's always been very classy.
Yes, that was a very classy move. I'm so glad you said that, Sergeant. I wanted to talk about that. That really was, because litigation is stressful, it is nasty, it is time-consuming, and it can be very bitter. And if you know, we all know what it's like to be in the courtroom, and even when you're not a party to something, it's unnerving. You lose sleep. It's awful. Sometimes you unintentionally lose weight just from being in trial, and just how grueling it is. And so that took a lot of time for both of them and for this jury to decide this. And so very classy move on her part. I was not at all surprised. I had made an early call on this before I even heard Gwyneth Paltrow's case presentation. It was when Gwyneth Paltrow was called to the stand by the plaintiff's team, and they questioned her, and she did so well on the witness stand. And also the plaintiff's counsel was so bad in that questioning, and just, I mean, was like opening doors left and right, and Gwyneth Paltrow just walked right in and told her story. I mean, and it was just, after that I said, oh, this case is done. And then when I saw the photos on, you know, when at the very tail end of the Paltrow case when they called Sanderson to the stand and they were going through slide by slide of him, I thought, okay, this is the nail in the coffin for this jury, that he's done. Let's take a listen to some of the post-verdict press conference. And this is that moment where Dr. Terry Sanderson is asked about what exactly it was that Gwyneth Paltrow said to him.
I wish you well, she said to me.
That was very kind. Yeah.
Very nice. Very kind.
She did.
Okay, all right, pretty quick there, but yeah, you heard it. Now let's take a listen to some of what Gwyneth Paltrow's attorney said in the post-verdict press conference that was held outside the courthouse.
We're pleased with this outcome and appreciate the judge and jury's thoughtful handling of this case. Gwyneth has a history of advocating for what she believes in. This situation was no different, and she will continue to stand for what she believes is right. Thank you. Any further statements will be made through press@harmonyhouse.com.
Okay, all right, so there it is. So for these lawyers, it's come to a conclusion somewhat, as Julia told us. There's still a little bit more left to be decided, and that is these attorney's fees. Kelly Hyman, let me go to you on this one. How high do you think these fees are for Gwyneth Paltrow's legal team, if you had to give us a rough estimate?
If I would have to give a rough estimate, I would say approximately $500,000. Trials are very expensive, and you also have all the experts and the attorneys' times. So I could see around that ballpark.
Ooh, you know, that's going to be tough. My goodness. I can't wait to hear what the judge is going to do on this one. And we're going to continue talking more about this one. Of course, you know, many folks all over, not just the United States, but many of our viewers in the United Kingdom and other places abroad, you know, have really become interested in this one. It was a fascinating case, and Gwyneth Paltrow has prevailed. And tweet us right now. Let us know what you think about this case. @CourtTV is our network handle. @JulieCourtTV is mine. I'm going to be talking with my guests some more throughout this hour. We have so much more to share with you.